right, so good afternoon. Here is the lesson that we were supposed to cover today, but because it's a snow day, I think that if I walk you through it, you will be able to complete and understand the goals of the lesson. Because a lot of it is based on what you've learned in the 5th grade. So let's go in. I want you to begin first with this spiral review here. So go ahead and answer 51 through 59 in your notebooks or on a sheet of paper. This didn't come out too good. So these are fractions. So this is a negative fraction here, and this is also a negative fraction. So you just have to graph it on the number line, and remember your positive and negative numbers. Fractions can also be positive or negative. Um, so here it tells you what lessons these come from. Again, this is all information that we've learned. So let's go over to the next page. So I'm just reviewing and giving you the instructions right now, and then you can go back and view the PDF and work on it at your own pace. So today we're going to be working on estimating fractions. And so the goal is for you to solve problems using estimation, but you're going to have to rely upon your knowledge of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of fractions um, to solve the problems. If you learned all of these in 5th grade, so, and remember, we're estimating, so I'm not looking for you to solve it using the formulas or the formal algorithms right now. I want you to really just think about what the fractions mean at this point. Okay, so number 46, A through D, I want you just to tell me which would be less than 1. So here, what you can do is you can take and draw a bar model, and I'll do it for A. So A is 1/3, right? So here's 1, and I'm going to shade in the 1/3, right? Out of the hole. And so out of the same hole, we're going to shade in 2/5. So let me measure this out in fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So a fifth would be 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that would be 2/5 of the same size hole, right? So now you have to decide if these two added together would make a whole, would be greater than 1 or less than 1. And then you can do the same for C, B, and D. And this is really working on your number sense and your understanding of the size of these fractions. So on the next page, now we're working on word problems with estimation of fractions. So on this one, you're going to rely on the chart below. It says graph 9 1/4 on a number line to the nearest whole number. How long is an American bison? So now you're just rounding it off to the nearest whole number. And remember, when you're rounding and estimating, if it's greater than a half, you go to the next number. If it's less than a half, you remain at the same number. Okay? So now we're going to go into situations where you're going to need to understand estimating fractions. Excuse me. So the first situation is cooking. Joaquin wants to make a macaroni and cheese shown at the right, so he's making this recipe. But he only has about 1 3/4 cups of macaroni. So you need to look now at the recipe and see how much macaroni is needed, right? So about how much more macaroni does he need? So you could just round this off to the nearest whole number, round that off to the nearest whole number, and come up with an estimate. Okay? Number 29, Isabella is sewing a trim that is 1 1/8 inches wide on the bottom of a skirt. So it's kind of like a hem. We're adding a little extra frill to the bottom of a skirt. And the skirt is about 15 and 7/8 inches long. So here's the skirt for 29, right? Here's my skirt. And this is 15 and 7/8 from here to here. Now the trim, I'm going to use a different color for the trim, is going to add now 1 1/8 inches to the length of the skirt. So if I'm going to add that, I'm just going to erase this a bit. If I'm going to add that to the length of the skirt, so what will the new length be? Right? What will that add on? What will that new length be? Okay. Let me show you with a bar model, right? So with the bar model, I'm going to just draw my bar model. And I know for about 15 and 7/8, right? So you're going to round that out to the nearest whole number. Then I'm going to add 1 1/8 inch. So that part that I'm going to add to the bar model is going to be much shorter. Right? 1 1/8. And then remember the length of this one is 15 and 7/8. And remember, your answers do not have to be exact. They're going to be estimates. So then what is the new length of the skirt? Right? So you just need to solve that. Now here is another example of estimating with fractions. Another situation. So again, and I want you to think of what situation is. For all of these, think about what operations you're going to be using. Are you using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? So here we go. So the whole amount of granola, this value, is 24 pounds. Right? And this is the abbreviation for pounds. And now we need to figure out how many bags. In each bag, there's about 1 3/4 pounds. So remember, we're looking for estimates. Okay? So what do you have to do to figure that out? First, estimate and round off how many pounds are in a bag of granola. Then figure out then how many bags would 24 pounds make. Okay, so here is another situation. I'll just continue to use green. So the adult human skeleton is made up of about 206 bones. The table shows the approximate fraction of the bones that each body part makes up. So the feet have about 1/4 of the bones, so we can make a bar model for that. Very simple. You could probably just do this without it. But I do want you to get comfortable with the bar model, okay? And doing the bar model with simple problems like this will help you understand it so you can apply it to the more difficult and challenging problems. So then this total is 206. So about how many would be in a quarter? And so again, you can use another bar model for number 41 about how many bones are in both the hands and the feet. Then now these are a little bit more challenging about how many bones are in one hand. The length of your thigh bone is equal to half of your height, right? So about how many inches is your thigh bone? So for this one, you could use your own height, okay? Well, it's equal to about a quarter of your height. I'm sorry. So use your own height and then figure out what 1/4 of that would be. All right, so now we're getting to the end. This is the last one. So this one's a bit more challenging, and you have to really think about all your estimation. So to make the crust for a peach cobbler, Dion needs 3 1/4 cups of flour, 1 2/3 cup of sugar, and 1 2/3 cups of hot water. He needs to mix all of these in a large bowl. The largest bowl he can find holds 6 cups. And I didn't copy down the techniques. I just want you to find your own techniques. So, can he use this bowl to mix the ingredients? Yes or no? But remember, this question has many parts. So you have to think about, you know, are you adding? Are you subtracting? I want you to think about, did you do this mentally? Did you estimate? Did you use your number sense? Okay, so these are all things that you've been using throughout, but you need to be aware of it. And that's what it asks to, when it asks you, what is it, which of the following techniques might Dion use to determine whether he can use this mixing bowl? Again, that they want you to focus on mental math, number sense, or estimation. And then I want you to solve the problem and explain to me, draw a bar model, or I did say I am requiring you to do draw a bar model for each problem and justify your problem, justify your solution, okay? And then number 9, an extension activity would be for you to then go to your kitchen or talk to your mom about maybe your favorite recipe and talk to your mom about, how they use estimation of fractions when it comes to cooking. I think that's like the easiest one to find a sample, a connection to is cooking. And so for homework, then you can, I mean, if you get all of these right, I guess this is your homework. This is the lesson. What then the extension of this I would want you to do then is to take the self-check quiz online and see how well you did. All right, so I will put all these directions online. Again, go back to the PDF and then you can work on these at your own pace. All right, good luck, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye-bye now.